This is why a narcissist is always so angry, no matter how good you are. With a narcissist, you never know when or how strongly or violently they will react, so you must always be on your watch. Because of their unpredictability, you must guard your words and actions around them. They act on impulse and are easily angered. To my surprise, they wasted no time in taking action. You don't understand why they're behaving this way. Everyone, I hope you're doing fine. In this episode, we'll go through the 5 characteristics of narcissists that lead them to respond so quickly. Before we begin, subscribe to this channel and click the bell button so you may stay up to date with the channel. All right. To begin, narcissists have a lot to conceal. Narcissists cover up the fact that they prefer a relationship in which you do all the giving and they do all the taking. They don't want you to bring up your desires. Interrogate them about their plans, steps, and conduct. Even if they don't make any requests or make it clear what they're lacking, they still want you to keep handing out the cash. They get annoyed when you ask questions or bring up issues. It seems they don't believe they have to answer to anyone, let alone you. Because of this, narcissists typically react angrily in an effort to silence you. They instill in you a fear of their reaction, no matter how politely you phrase your thoughts, and so you learn to suppress your uniqueness and conform. They won't be less reactive, no matter how eloquently you articulate what you want or how pleasant you make the situation for them too. They will reply and still disappoint you. Why? They are hurting and using you, but they can't let the truth out. Narcissists try to conceal their true nature by portraying themselves as pleasant and approachable. If that's their goal, they'll sprinkle their response with a few crumbs of optimism here and there to keep you hanging around. The second issue is that they have problems controlling their emotions. Narcissists learn early on to shut down their emotional feelings. Because of this, it is challenging for narcissists to regulate their emotions. They bury their emotions so deep that they eventually rot in the bowels of their subconscious. Then some insignificant thing occurs, and they realize how terrible they really are. This alter ego exists solely to shield the person from facing their own deep-seated feelings of guilt and insecurity. However, it doesn't always function as intended. All it takes to set off an ugly shitshow is a minor trigger and a small reminder. Unfortunately for you, that situation is coming to an end. What's insane here is that they consistently fail to notice the trigger pattern. The difficulties they attribute to you are actually the result of their own trauma and troubles, which they refuse to acknowledge. They constructed a barrier to protect themselves from harm. However, it is amusing that, in the end, they wind up hurting everyone else. Because of their emotional immaturity, they are emotionally dim. Aggression and intimidation are the only skills they've ever learned. They only know how to apply them since anger is the most obvious emotion to display and the most straightforward method of taking command of any given situation. Third, narcissists are continuously defending themselves to evade responsibility. They feel constant pressure to prove their worth to the world by gaining acceptance from others. They can't take the rejection since it leads to feelings of humiliation so overwhelming that it threatens their lives and their sense of uniqueness. An improvement above the competition. The ideal, self-sufficient person. You'll get attacked for making them feel insignificant when you ignore them or refuse to comply with their demands. Also, disobeying a narcissist's demand is taken as a show of contempt and lack of loyalty. When you fail to live up to their ideal of a flawless supply, they become enraged and won't let you up until you learn your lesson. The reality is, a narcissist will never be able to admit that they are dependent on and survive because of other people. My preferred term for these people is mutated codependents, because they are more than just codependents. And yet, they would have you believe that they couldn't care less about what you think of them. Fourth, they have an internalized pressure to present an ideal image. Feelings of worthlessness and humiliation plague narcissists due to the inflated belief of their own importance. That's why they need to hear positive affirmations from others all the time. It's the only way they can keep the guilt and feelings of inadequacy at bay. Despite this, they continue to believe they are terrific and behave as if they were flawless. They are authoritarian because they are constantly striving for excellence. However, in reality, things don't operate like that at all. It's safe to say that nothing is or ever will be flawless. Our actions aren't flawless, but that's okay. But the narcissist just can't comprehend that. If anything or someone isn't flawless in their eyes, it drives them nuts. They just can't face the fact that they're not flawless. To this aim, they'll make demands of you and of yourself that you just cannot meet. To put it another way, their pain is all internal. They pressure us into thinking we should be punished for persisting. They believe that everything that goes wrong in their lives is the fault of others, although they themselves are captives of their own actions. Number 5 stands out as the most intriguing. They have a very low tolerance for error. Narcissists are unable to deal with any criticism, whether it is real or imagined. It's their one major flaw. It makes them feel like they are losing control as it brings up all the shame they have been attempting to suppress. They act in an animalistic and erratic manner in an attempt to exert power over others, of which you are the most vital component. They become their monstrous selves when they are criticized. They take great precautions to conceal their presence. They are so enraged that they wreck everything in their path. If they mistook your criticism for actual criticism, they would become violent and not hesitate to damage objects or hit you. To get them to quit, you'd have to beg. There was no sense of remorse or guilt. They just didn't care. Briefly put, narcissists have negative responses to criticism and rejection. We've reached the day's end. If you liked this episode, please subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, give a like, and share it with your friends. I hope to see you at the upcoming video. Have a nice day.